Strip Club Video with Danny Myers, Dane Hansen, and Jeff Gerald starts now.
Strip Club Video. We're making our 18th attempt at recording this show. We started off in Uncle Buck's and we couldn't get a signal. They went outside. It was perfect. Then it started to rain. So right now we are in the office of Scores in Huntsville, Alabama. We got Dane Hansen. We've got Jeb Gerald. And who's that guy in the middle, man? Is that Pony Boss? Pony Boss? How are you, Jerry Westlund? Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us.
Fantastic, Danny. Great seeing you in the little tiny corner. I can see you on the street.
Yeah, there you go. Jerry, how many clubs do you either own or own a part of?
All a part of about 34.
34?
About 34.
You keep pretty damn busy.
I spend a lot of time on the road. Yes, sir.
I can imagine, man. Well, you know what? We just all got back from Miami, Florida for the Exotic Dancer Publications Expo, and you were presented the Hall of Fame Award. It was the Strip Club Industry Hall of Fame. You were inducted in there along with Christina Aguchi. What'd that mean to you?
It means that the Hall of Fame must be about ready to close because it's got to the point that I qualify. We must be running to the end. No, all kidding aside, it was truly an honor to be able to do that. But it really has very little to do with me. What it's really about is the people that make what I do work. The people that make the ponies, the brands that I operate, that make it work. And that's who really is in the Hall of Fame. I just happen to be the guy that gets to hold the trophy.
Well, you made a whole lot of new friends in your with your acceptance speech, and Jeb had it recorded, and he got a clip of it. And in your acceptance speech, you said,
"But as you hear me say every year when I talk, who are we going to thank? The only reason any of us make any money, and that is the girls and the DJs."
The only reason any of us make any money is the girls and the DJs. And every DJ that I know has put that on their Facebook profile, and we want to thank you for that.
Absolutely, and it's 100% true. I can't imagine that anybody in our industry could look at it differently. I mean, the people that come to our clubs, my clubs, anybody's clubs for that matter, come for the music, come for the show, and come for the pretty girls. And not one of those things works by itself.
Mm-hmm. And you're out there in Huntsville. You've got 4 clubs in Huntsville, Alabama. You got these two guys here with you, Dane Hansen and Jeb Gerald. Dane has got the Vegas ties, and Jeb's got Texas and Colorado ties. You got you're assembling a dream team in Huntsville, Alabama. How did you do that?
Well, I'm not just assembling a dream team. I think we have a dream team. We have a couple positions still available we would like to fill. One belongs to a guy that's all the way up in Ohio. For some godforsaken reason, I can't get to come this far south except to visit. But don't think I'm giving up on that. Remember that. Yep. We're not giving up on that. But no, I think it's because we recognize the value of the DJs and the entertainers. It's the same reason that the entertainers we have here come from all over the country. And when they come here, they don't want to leave. I mean, I think both of these guys will attest to that. That it's like, wow, this isn't like the last place I was at. How many times you guys hear that?
A lot. They feel taken care of here. They feel respected, and it's a good place to be. I would have stereotyped Alabama to be a little different than it is, but I love Westlund.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jerry, I do have to tell you that I'm very happy here with my gig at Diamonds Cabaret in Dayton, Ohio. But if anything were to happen, you are my first phone call.
Did you have to plug the name of the club and the city? Did you have to get all that in there?
I might get paid for this. I don't know. So, Jerry, you've been in this for a little bit. How has the industry changed from when you first started in the strip club industry to now?
Well, 20 plus years ago when I got started, I was one of the few people that was, as I think I was quoted once, unabashedly the operator of strip joints. And as I called them, the world's, America's strip joints. I ripped that off of the Dallas Cowboys. Don't tell them. But at the time, there were clubs out there. Don't get me wrong. There are certain markets where it still works, where they're selling champagne and steaks. And most of the country and most of the markets that I operate in, we're looking for the customers that are regulars. We're looking for the guys that are able to come out once a week or once every 2 weeks. Those guys may not drop $5,000. We all know people with real jobs aren't dropping $5,000 a week in the strip. However, we'll find a spot for those people who are willing to. Don't get me wrong. But as the unabashed, we offer hamburgers and beer, and we'll sell you a bottle, and whether that be tequila or whatever that may be, whether it's a disc club or any of my other clubs. I think the industry has turned into a party. The industry went from this, and again, I'm not faulting those people that still do this, because I have some friends that are very successful, having girls in long gowns, carrying around champagne, and everybody putting on airs. My clubs don't do that. We're a party. It's the reason that on a weekend night, 35%, 40% of my crowd are female that are coming in, which, I think 20 years ago, people would have thought it was crazy. I won't tell you where, but over the weekend, I visited a club that I'm purchasing in the Southeast, and they had giant signs on the door. And I sat and watched. It says, "No women allowed without a male escort." And I was so smart. I sat there for a minute with the guy that I was traveling with and watched. And sure enough, women would show up and they would literally turn them away. I don't think 20 years ago, anyone thought that what I was peddling, quite frankly, what I believe was a fun place to go to, would turn into the norm.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the age difference between us, and I'm going to put us on in that us category, and the entertainers. The longer we're in this, the further the divide of the age between us and the entertainers. So there's a bigger span there. What are some of the...
What the fuck is he talking about? Yes.
What are some of the hardest things for you to accept about the new generation of girls?
I'm probably gonna say the same answer as everybody else. The phone. The phone. Trying to get anyone's attention off of their phone is amazing. Now, in all fairness, when you see our millennial customers that are in the bar, they're on their phone as much as our entertainers are. It shocks and stuns me. You see these guys, this is a beautiful woman naked on stage, and this guy is scrolling through his phone. So I think that's something that we are probably going to have to adapt to, not phones, but how to deal with that generation and how they socially interact with each other, which is completely different than what we did.
Oh yeah, they want to share each other's Snapchat rather than get a dance.
Yeah, we grew up talking. I think the value, there's a lot of people that talk about that social interaction via social media that the millennials have is going to be the end of our industry. I completely disagree with that. I believe it's what's going to protect our industry from the standpoint we're the only live interaction with females that a lot of our guys get. The reason that's not because when we were younger, there were nightclubs, right? There were bars. What's out there now? That whole industry, that industry has been much more decimated than what's happened to our industry. So I feel that we have the judgment-free, no rejection zone that's going to allow us to continue for another 100 years.
Planet Fitness. Yeah. No judgment zone.
No judgment zone.
Planet what? Yes.
Well, Jerry, you are a big supporter of feature performers, showgirls, and you do a lot of features in your clubs and things. And you also just did the G-String Challenge in Huntsville, Alabama, which I came out to, which was a competition for feature performers and things.
Golden. Come on, you worked the name of your club, and it was the Golden G-Strings. I own that now. The Golden G-Strings.
Okay, Golden G-Strings. There you go. When you are booking features, because you book a lot of them in all your clubs, what are the things that you look for in a feature? And then I'm going to follow that with what are some of the things the features are doing that you would shy away from because they're doing it?
Got it. Two things I look for in a feature. I book features to remind my entertainers that what their job is more than just a happy laugh. Okay? There are a lot of clubs out there, and we know how our entertainers make their money. But the truth is, I book features so that our girls and my house girls can look up and say, wow, I'm almost like her. I'm a showgirl. I'm like that. Because, I don't want them to think that what our industry is about a bump and a grind in the back. I realize that's a component in our business model, but I don't want that to be all we're about. So I book features across the country, and will continue to do two things. Number one, put on a show and show my girls they have talent. And number two, that they're nice to my house girls. Let me tell you, and it's funny because I'm going to follow this up in a second with a reference to my friend here, Dave. There's nothing more important to me. I have had features that have come in and have been snooty or unpleasant to my house girls. I never book them again. I have nothing to say about them. And I will tell you a funny story about the first time I booked the Hurricane. The Hurricane, the first time I booked her, showed up with a tray of cookies for my house girls. She won by heart at that moment. She showed up at her first booking ever from me years ago with a tray of cookies for my house girl. Something just happened.
We're still good.
We're good.
Yeah. So no, there's nothing more important for me in booking features. And there's a lot of great features out there. If you were at Expo, you saw some amazing talents on stage. And you saw I talked to some girls walking around that, who are working on shows and stuff. I'm excited about what the future of feature looks like.
So what if somebody came up to you and said, I want to buy a strip club? What kind of advice would you give them?
Run away. It is not a part-time job. Number one, it's not a part-time job, and don't buy it if you're a customer, because those two things do not work out. Look, we're a great industry. It's going to be around a long time. But again, I caution people. Particularly when I talk to club owners that are interested in selling to me, I say, if you sell it to a customer, you're going to get it back. We know what happens when someone who's not in our business buys a strip club. He ends up getting too familiar with a couple of waitresses and a dancer, and then never goes to work anymore, and the club goes into the tank. And I'm sorry to say that, but everybody can think of at least one example of that happening. So I like to say, leave it to the professionals. That may sound a little crass, but leave it to the pros. Whether that be a club owner now, or someone that's worked in our industry for quite some time.
Okay. Can we talk show club VIP?
Sure.
Can you get your show club VIP and your girls to agree to start dancing to music by Tom Jones?
Not a problem. If show club VIP does not have Sex Bomb along with Pussycat on it, then shame on that. I will call Heiko before I get to my car. I will call before I get there. Look, guys, what show club VIP to me is really shown. I've taken away the ugly part of what DJs have to do. I've done that to try and help. DJs don't have to say no anymore. I've made it so you don't have to look at a girl and say, no, honey, I'm sorry, you can't dance to that. Which to me, I always thought fucked up DJ's money. And it fucked up the DJ's money because of a club policy. I've now made it so you don't ever have to have, I'm looking at these guys.
Yep.
I'm actually looking at the back of their heads. So, but I've done this with the idea that it takes away them having to deliver that bad news. Now they can just bitch at me or bitch up. There's no reason to take it out on the DJ.
Yeah.
And these superstars have proven, as my other DJs have, that they can run a room, run a show, and create that entertainment experience with Show Club VIP. And by the way, Heiko, fuck you, send me money for that. Send me money, Heiko. You owe me money, Heiko. Somewhere.
Yeah, I was trying to be one of the voices for Show Club VIP, but my biceps weren't big enough.
All right, well, when you get down to Heiko and you start drinking that Alabama water, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, where are the Jaeger bombs in this show?
Yeah. Okay. Hey, it's just after 3:00 in the afternoon. What do you want? All right.
I know. I was just thinking, you and I were just down in Miami, and I think that's the first time you and I have been in a bar together, and we didn't do a shot together. So next time we get together, we'll do two. Now, I would comment on the lack of waitresses, or that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, you asked me about what it is that I do or don't want from features.
Yeah.
I'm just following. This is me taking a segue back. Again, I told you I want features that are nice to my girls and have a show. Okay, don't come to me without a show. There's no such thing as just a hot body that walks across the stage. I have clubs where I run 60 plus girls a night. Okay, I don't need a pretty girl. I mean, so you have to have a show. There's girls out there that do great theme shows. If I name one, I'd have to name them all. But certainly the Hurricane. Miss Parker does great shows if you've ever watched. Probably going to get sued by Disney, but that's okay. Didn't work out well for the Ying Yang twins. Didn't think I could get the Ying Yang twins into the interview.
You segued that in.
Segueing. But I'll tell you what not to do. Someone's waiting for me to say fire. I just feel it in the room. Fire has become a problem across the country. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I think everybody remembers Gianno. Love Gianno.
Oh, yeah.
But she said, you know what? Nobody does fire like Gianno.
True.
But because of that, nobody should try to do fire like Gianno. Okay? I've seen Gianova, spit fire 25 feet. But the problem is when we take on dangerous shows, you create a potential problem for owners. We catch flack about flames in the building. A lot of cities use it to bitch about us later. So I prefer anything that requires a high maintenance thing like that is problematic. The other thing, I'm hopefully this year, my clubs will be hosting the EDIs again. You go Dave Manning, not for an opening now, huh?
Yeah.
But as well as other competitions throughout the year at different clubs around the country. We're going to be doing the Golden G-strings again, except we're hoping to be doing the Panda, where we're going to be doing a Panda competition for features that we're going to be hosting. Surprise, guys, didn't tell you about that. Yeah.
Thanks for more words.
Yeah, exactly. But I will tell you that, when you do a big message show, I'm the host in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh boy. So no, but listen, ladies, when you do a feature show, okay, the dumping of the water and the oil and all that stuff, it's very entertaining for the other features to watch you do that. But good God, it's a huge pain in the ass. Okay? I'm sorry. And I realize there's probably somebody out there that rubs one out to the water. But really, the amount of cleanup time and running around that those take, you're all much more talented. You don't need to do that. So my 10 cents would be take it easy on the water, oil, paint shows.
Glitter. No glitter.
Yeah. Glitter screws up my vacuums.
Yeah.
That is cool. Know that. But the water, the oil, anything that's going to make the next entertainer's life difficult is a problem.
Confetti cannons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah, those are good. Those clean up people. Yeah.
Okay, Dane, Jeb, what would you like to ask Jerry? Here's your chance.
I got a raise.
Hey, did I tell you about the Panda dancer competition?
You see how quiet Dane got, right?
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, man, it has just been an absolute honor to have Jerry Westlund, Pony Boss, with us here today, Strip Club Video, man, and sharing some of your knowledge and wisdom. Like that wisdom, when people say wisdom, they mean that you've been around for a while.
I know.
He's old.
It's like being at the Hall of Fame. It's the beginning of the end.
Danny's full of wisdom.
Yeah. You're a very wise man, Danny. Very wise man.
Jerry, thanks so much, man. Anything you guys want to ask him or bring up before we cut him loose?
I tell you what, come up and give us a holler. Join a winning team. We got some spots open. Anybody want to come play?
We're ready for you, buddy.
Come on.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, man. Appreciate it. Strip Club Video. Oh.